Jeffrey Dahmer soaked in blood. The Unabomber blowing up. Waco, Texas and Heaven's Gates. Alien modified men from apes. Hitler faked his death and then escaped. Bigfoot and the Mothman. Son of Sam talking to dogs again. Witches, ghosts and goblins. Mysterious noise and hauntings. Dark arts and the skull and bones. Most celebrities are probably cloned. So when you're feeling all alone, grab a beer and get stoned. I welcome you to the podcast Strange Brew. We're here to entertain you. We're here to entertain you.
It's about to get strange.
I mean, I had a pretty good childhood. Like, my dad used to put me in tires and roll me down the hills. Those were good years.
So stupid. Oh, fuck. Welcome to the show.
It's the show with Tom and Billy.
This is Strange Brew
It's the
Podcast.
It's the Billy Tom show.
No, it's the Tom
It's the Tom and Billy show. Billy Tom show.
All right. Welcome to the show. This is your favorite podcast, Strange Brew Podcast. And I am your gracious host, Tomcat, and I got some gin. You have some Pilsner?
Pilsner. It's Pilsner because it's super cheap, man. It's fucking like $2 a can.
Is
like
it?
a tall boy and like.
Yeah, I got a really tall glass of gin. This is a bad idea recording on a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
All right, so
for all you guys that actually care, like, I wonder what fucking day they were going.
Juan always shouts that shit out.
Thank you so much for telling me that it was a
Juan
Tuesday.
does it just in case people think, like, if we do the same subject as another podcast, he's like, oh, somebody just did the Abraham Lincoln podcast. And I'm like, fucking people are going to, there's a million podcasts. There's
you know how
eventually gonna be
you know how many
somebody-
people that are just doing things with generally within these topics, like
Yeah.
somebody else is going to be interested in the thing you're interested in
Exactly.
and beat you to the punch. Sucks to suck.
I know. So he always states the time. We're recording this now at, he like tells the
Let's
date
just
and
start
time.
doing that and say the date and time like 2 weeks prior to the actual date and time.
I know. Yeah, this is October 31st.
So we can actually steal things from people and be like, actually, just in case this specific podcast does this. Look at that. I called it. They did it.
So we're going to get into some topics this winter because Canada now has snow everywhere. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, it was one day. I swear to fucking God, every single year, people forget what happened last year.
I know.
The weather
like, shit, I can't drive anymore.
But the weather's always been the same. The first half of November is always fucking warm.
Yeah.
Always. It's never been cold. Maybe in the 90s, but for the past 20 years, it hasn't. And
global warming.
No, okay, maybe. But anyways, so everybody comes out and they're like, oh my God, it's November and I'm outside. And I'm like, wow, you're so fucking awesome. And then the first snowfall hits and they're like, oh, it's over. This is it. And I'm like, nope, I guarantee
warm
you
up
any
again.
money. Yeah, it warms up again. And it doesn't really get cold till mid-January, early February,
Yeah.
every fucking year.
So it's like
everybody
minus-
forgets.
minus fucking 3 today or some bullshit.
It doesn't matter what the weather is. People will be like,
yeah.
what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I know. And then
Be like,
2
it's the
days
same
from
thing as
now,
last
it's
year.
going to be 8 degrees. So
Yeah,
in
and it'll
Canada
all melt.
terms,
It'll all
not
melt.
Fahrenheit,
Celsius.
motherfuckers. So we're going to get into some, like,
What's 8 Celsius or 8 Celsius in Fahrenheit?
I don't fucking know. Juan explained it to me.
Fahrenheit
sometime.
is 32 degrees. Negative 32 degrees. Celsius is 0 Fahrenheit, I think.
No, because they go, like, over. Like, it's just like 100 degrees. Is,
Yeah, no,
you
but
know,
negative 32 degrees is 0 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
so, I think that's where the line is.
And this
But anyways,
topic is fucking cold, okay? These people were fucking cold.
They were cold people.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I swear.
If
I'm
I
an
say
adult.
the C word.
I'm an adult, okay? So,
Okay, guys, if you like listen, like, and that's what baffles my mind. People that like, okay, this is like not a general everyday topic that we talk about here on the podcast. Like, we're talking about things that like more, I'm going to say for the majority, more fucked up people enjoy. Not that we
Yeah.
aren't also you people, but you can't
You
say that
people.
word anymore.
What are you,
Anyways,
Don Cherry?
Anyways, but like somebody that's interested in something like this, I just can't fathom like that
That's a big
attitude
pause.
of having like,
yeah.
oh my God, they swore
I know.
while talking about reptilians.
I know.
Like, how are you into reptilians but you can't handle a swear word? It doesn't. I don't get it.
I know, and that's my whole thing too. It's just like
It
our
doesn't baffle
podcast
me.
says it's explicit. We talk about explicit content. We make jokes that some people might not find funny, but I find them funny.
There's actually some jokes I'm even like, whoa.
But it's all for the fun of it, and like I always say this, it's fucking jokes. These are strange times, and this is a strange podcast, and I'm a strange man.
Just like fucking Jim Jeffries.
Yeah.
He's like, some article wrote about me and says, this is what Jim Jeffries thinks. He's like, that is not what I think. That's what I think is funny to say.
Exactly. So this is like barren wasteland kind of shit. Like it's cold as fuck. So we're gonna talk about the Belcher.
Cold as ice.
Talk about the Belcher Island and the Belcher Island massacre or murders, whatever you want to go by. But the Belcher Islands is southeast part of Hudson Bay, and it gets shivering up
It's
there.
chilly.
The Belcher Islands,
Southeast of Hudson Bay?
yeah, the Belcher
Well, it's
Islands.
not that cold.
Yeah, no, it's cold.
No, it's not north
and
of
it's an
Hudson
island.
Bay's pretty. Oh, okay.
So, and it's in the middle of the ocean, not in the middle of it, but on the side of it. So it's cold.
We're talking about
That's what-
Hudson Bay, Ontario?
Yes, there's an like.
And there's an island up there?
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider it an island. It's probably just a little piece.
is an island. I
it's
looked it up.
It's a little piece of land literally separated by a river, probably.
Yeah.
That's probably
No,
what it is.
it actually is an island. But
So what? Quebec just doesn't exist anymore?
haven't we clarified that they don't exist?
Yeah, but
we don't care about
they
them.
physically exist. We just don't like it.
Man, and I said that on an episode of Strange once. I was like, because we always make fun of Quebec, and a listener is like, "Yeah, I love the podcast. Keep making fun of Quebec." And I was like, "We will. Don't worry."
I'll keep trying.
The Belcher Islands are spread out over almost 3,000 square kilometers.
See, that's fucking nothing.
I know it's a small
That's what I'm like.
island.
That's a little fucking piece of land. I bet you the water around it is maybe
Yeah, but it's
50K.
They belong to the
I guess that's an island.
Kikatelek region of the territory of Nunavut.
You said southeast of Hudson Bay.
Yeah.
That's not none of it. None of it's
It's
much.
in the region
I know.
of.
None of it's much north of Hudson Bay.
I know, but it's in the region. It's categorized in the region.
Yeah, they were pretty fucked up when they were making them charts.
They're not called Eskimos. Don't call them that. That's fucking racist, okay? It is.
Is it? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. They just don't like it because I think it was like a slur like the N-word is, but not as bad, obviously. They didn't get fucking changed.
Like the N-word is.
But they just don't like it. They'd rather be called like Inuits or
Who
indigenous.
doesn't like it? What friend did you talk to?
The Eskimos don't like being called Eskimos.
Them whites don't like being called white.
So it's in At the End of the World, a story of murder in the Arctic. Lawrence Millman, that's a great name.
He's a mailman.
Millman
But yeah, I bet Millman's a mailman.
tells a little known tale of a horrific series of murders in Canada's remote Belcher Islands in Hudson Bay in 1941. And recounting the story of a short-lived but intense religious fever that turned a close-knit band of Inuit against each other.
I can't get over the geography.
Do you want to look it up?
Kinda. Like, I'll do it later. But yes, I do. Because southeast of Hudson Bay can't possibly be none of it unless none of it has this like huge fucking dick piece that nobody knows about. Like, and it's got to be
cursed
giant.
out.
It's got to be like half of into Ontario, and it's technically classified as none of it. It doesn't quite make sense.
So the winter of 1941 was a harsh winter, even for northern Canada. Especially
Back in the 40s.
yeah, I know. There's no fucking heat.
Yeah, winter was fucked.
They live in an igloo.
Even when in
with
the
fucking
90s,
fire.
winter was fucked.
Yeah, I know.
When I was a baby, I remember like
Yeah.
snowstorms that I've never seen since.
It's global warming, and as Mitch would like to say, that's been on the Strange Japanese episode. We always mention Mitch, but he always is like, it's a good thing, you know, like Canada warms up and we can grow more vegetation, have more farms. I was like, what about the rest of the world? He's like, who gives a fuck about them? It's like
Canada's
Canada
just
will
now
be
the hot
thriving.
spot of
Yeah, I
fucking
know.
living.
And agriculture and shit, because technically, if we could grow all year round,
Yeah.
we'd make more money. But
And we could have more food, but sure.
people like sick motherfuckers like the winter. I just stared at Billy.
No, but like I don't
snow,
like
man.
outside. No, okay, I love snow on Christmas Day or leading up to Christmas.
That's about it.
That's after like January 1st, fuck right off. Like I hate January, February, but like nothing is better. There's no better feeling in the world than freezing your fucking tits off for 4 hours and then coming inside, warming up and having
but what if you didn't have to live like that? You live like Juan in Florida where everyone fucking eats rats
because it's
fuck sewer gators.
when you get good weather all year round, you never appreciate weather. So when summertime hits after winter,
I know.
Driving down with your fucking windows down, you're like, yeah, bye.
Well,
Nobody in Florida's like, look at the sun. It's out every fucking day, but today's a great one.
I know I was talking at work about SantaCon. You know what SantaCon is? No. Happens in Florida.
There's a Comic-Con for Santa?
No, I think in New York and in like California. I think, but I've heard about like Florida doing it, where all these motherfuckers dress up like Santa Claus and they go out drinking and they go bar hopping, and then there's like Santa Claus fighting in the fucking corner and there's Santa Claus throwing up, and
that's actually really awesome.
I know, and I was like, if
really
they had that in
see
Toronto, I'd go. If it wasn't for COVID, but they're in the red right now, but I'd go.
Nobody would believe I'm Santa.
Yeah, and the thing is, buddy, at work,
I feel like Santa, you've been doing drugs, haven't you?
No, you shove a fucking pillow in your shirt.
I know, and then fights would be awesome. No one could gut punch me.
Yeah, you just wear a fat suit and then you just fuck up anyone that comes at you.
Try to fucking hit me, see if it hurts.
Because we were just joking about that and how buddy at work, Cody, was like, oh, that'd be a good time to rob a bank. Because everyone's dressed like Santa Claus.
Probably would be.
Well, that sounds fun. But to get in the Christmas aspect of it, that's all I want to say. But so these islands are remote. A bunch of Inuit live there. I was going to say Eskimo, but you can't say Eskimo, okay? You just can't say it.
Okay, how many people are going to get that offended by it?
Like 30 people.
30.
And that's all of the Inuits.
Okay, so.
That's worse.
And now how many listen to our podcast?
Thousands.
Thousands out of the 30. Yeah. Those motherfuckers are listening. Like every single one of them have 4 podcasts simultaneously playing in their ears. Yeah. And they're all Strange Brew.
So the remote arc igloo, I don't know what that word is, but.
Are you trying to say igloo?
No, it's arch igpiglago. Can you.
What?
Can you.
Arpacello?
That's not it.
Yes, it is.
It's not Arpacello.
Yes, it is.
No, because no C. It's Alpilego. Lago. Whatever. It's just below the Arctic Circle. Offered very little so
I don't know now.
It is weird because now you're bugging me out because they're saying it's southeast. Maybe it's supposed to be northeast because like it's close to
that
fucking.
Makes more sense
because it's close to the Arctic Circle.
I love how now that you clue in by yourself, it makes sense to you. But when Billy says something instantly, when you said it, you're like, no, you're wrong. Just shut up.
Shut up. Just below the Arctic Circle. Often offered with very little vegetation, even in warmer months.
Definitely fucking north.
Barren.
It's north of Hudson Bay.
Yeah. In that winter, there were very few seals or walruses.
Yeah, okay. Southeast of Hudson Bay does not have seals or walruses.
Look it up.
Around.
I might be wrong. I might be right. Who knows? In even the Arctic hares for the Inuit to hunt, there was very little.
Sorry, I can't get off it. The Inuit's like, here's our Nunavut land.
You know what? None of it.
How about we travel down? That was a good one. How about we travel down to that long dick piece of Nunavut where we're like literally submerged in
water,
like northern Ontario. Yeah. But it's still our land. And we make this travel every single day. This is where all our kids hunt. This is where we drag the food back. I don't know, 3,000 fucking kilometers back to Nunavut.
What are you, American?
I said kilometers.
Yeah.
I didn't say miles.
Oh, they do miles. We do.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Oh my God.
True. The residents spend long nights inside their igloos. Sometimes.
Why did you say it like that?
Sometimes reading translated copies of the New Testament, portions of the Bible.
Speaking of everybody talking about just none of it, we got to get this out there because I'm very curious as opposed to how many people still nowadays still believe the majority of Canada lives in igloos.
I was gonna say that earlier too,
Because
Americans were like, "Don't they still live in igloos?" It's Arkansas, man. It's Arkansas.
No. I always thought it was funny. And I thought people were joking. For the most part,
yeah.
until like I must have been in like grade 9 or grade 10. I'd play Xbox Live, and you'd like go on your friends, and and somebody genuinely asked me like wholeheartedly, they're like, "How are you playing from Canada?" They're like, "What kind of like?" Do your electricians make like awesome money to like do all that work underground to try to get it up to your igloo? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I still like it, even though a bunch of 13-year-old, 8-year-old kids have taken over it. I barely play it, but I used to play it a lot, and I used to play with people from the States and stuff, and it was super fun. And this one guy, I remember his name. His name's War something, and he would be like, "How's the maple syrup?" when I'd be chasing him as Jason and shit. He'd be like, "Do you just like live on a diet of maple syrup and beer?" And I'm like, no. I also eat beavers.
It's actually kind of funny. Like, no, we never touch the beavers.
Well, I eat beaver every day.
No, nobody.
Pussy, man.
Yeah, but don't disrespect our beaver by calling it pussy.
So that Americans call pussy beaver.
I know, but our beaver's special to us, so we don't.
We do love beavers. We use them as chainsaws.
Sometimes very stinky thing. Beavers are lovely.
So
we love beavers more than our women.
This is weird because like brought to the Belcher Islands just a few years before traders and missionaries, they brought like a Bible, like in their translation, because you know what we do as white men. We try to force religion on other people.
Yeah, it seems to be a trend.
So Millman, the author, said that indigenous people to the area were essentially isolated, didn't know anybody else, until 1916, when a mining engineer named Robert Flaherty was shipwrecked and spent winters in the island. And a winter in the island. And this is what would happen, too, when they were sailing and stuff like that. It was like a shit show. Like, especially when they started delivering stuff to Hudson Bay, because it is close enough where they were trying to get to Hudson Bay. Yeah. And then you deliver, it's the fur trade going on at the time, you know what I mean? Paper money didn't exist. It was gold and shit like that. So you had people getting shipwrecked all the time because it's fucking a shit show. And you got like fucking
it's
boats coming
glaciers and lots of ice.
Now they're all gone and we're going to die one day.
I'm sad about the polar bears.
I know. I feel bad about the polar bears.
Yeah, the polar bears they're probably pretty good boys though.
If they're black, you attack. It sounds bad. If they're brown, you lay down. If they're white, you're gonna die. That's the bear analogy.
But the polar bears are probably pretty good boys though.
Okay.
They're probably pretty good if you just maybe gave them a treat or something.
He produced, Millman produced the famous documentary Nanook of the North, which he showed the lives of native people in a manner that was somewhat fictionalized. Kind of racist quotations. Because look up Nanook of the North.
He just wandered into this foreign land. He's like, I'm gonna fucking write a book about you guys.
So they've been brought over a Bible, and they're getting taught, because what Canadians did. We did have the slave trade with blacks and stuff like that, but what we more or less did was try to change indigenous people. We tried to, influence our thing. We brainwashed them in residential schools and beat them if they didn't speak English.
Well, how about we talk about much before that, where we're literally on their land.
Yes, I know. And
then we gave them a little corner, and we said, here you go. That's yours. We won't bug you.
My whole point is, can't everyone live in harmony?
Except
I know
for
we didn't
fucking
come in.
Dickhead Canadians.
I know the Spanish didn't come in with harmony, and neither did a lot of the English. But I blame the Spanish.
Nobody came in with harmony. Back in the early 1900s, people were fucking vicious.
So they came in with like a Bible and quoting the Bible and like having Inuits they're like, you have to learn the fucking Bible, man. And they freaked out, right? So on one night during the bleak season of a spectacular meteor shower illuminated the skies, one man, 27-year-old Charlie Urek, connected the celestial event with the passage from Matthew. The stars will fall from the sky, and you will see the Son of Man coming. His interpretation: soon, it would be the end of the world for the Inuits.
It's scary that everybody likes to put their own spin
Then
on it, right? That's
Charlie, and this is we've talked about this on the Mass Hysteria episode. People get crazy. They learn something. They were like, "Well, if the white man's saying this, it must be true." Charlie Urach
White man knows all.
announced that he was Jesus. I am Jesus. I am your savior.
They said you were gonna come,
The white man said it.
and you're white.
And
The only white man ever born in the Middle East.
and the community, he was the community's best and the community's best hunter, Peter Sala, was God. So this guy's like, well, I'm Jesus.
And he's like, I'm his dad.
Yeah. And they weren't even.
I was gonna do Jesus first, but he already did it.
They gained acolytes and ordered the sled dogs be killed, something they use constantly.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So, because soon everyone would be able to fly. He's like, we won't need these dogs anymore, man.
So why are you killing them?
You'll be able to fly.
Let the dogs loose.
No, but yeah, it's true.
You're Jesus and God. Why are you murdering things?
No, they want to kill the dogs. Like, you can fly one day. We're not going to need this.
Exactly. You don't need it.
So
Let it go.
they're
Let it
already
live its life.
starving. You kill the dog and you eat like the Chinese do. Chinese got something, right? They eat dog. I'm just joking.
Okay, the only good thing I've ever heard about Chinese is them skinning and killing cats. Don't you dare talk about my dogs like that. I will turn it right back on you. I love doggos. Doggos are all good boys, and cats are all just
fucking put you in a room with a
monsters.
goddamn lion. That's technically a cat.
No, but it's like a cat that's like a dog, and he's a good boy too.
Lions, the only reason we have domestic cats nowadays is because someone bred with lions and tigers. They just kept breeding and breeding
Yeah,
until
I
it got
know.
smaller and
And
smaller.
they
Same with
bred-
dogs. Dogs came from wolves, bud.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's true.
Yeah. And wolves are fantastic. And tigers are fantastic. And lions are fantastic.
They would drag your skinny ass into a cave and be fucking very
No, I would be leader of the wolves. They'd be like, Billy.
What are you, Mowgli?
They'd call me dad.
Okay.
They'd be like, "Whoa, Dad, what do you want? Do you want
So unbeliever and the unbelievers too would be killed eventually if they tested. Okay, so
beer?" Yeah, don't you dare test. Don't test me. I'm testing.
so Peter Salah's sister forced some of the islanders to take off their clothes in order to greet the end of the world. 6 died of exposure. By the time the Masonic
so cold.
cult it ran its course and 9 Inuits have perished. And we'll get back into it, but she was like, you know,
Only 9 though.
you know what? You know what a fucking like a dog whip is? Like when they whip the dogs. Like
That's
for
yeah. No, it's not a dog whip. It's a horse whip.
it technically is because these things would crack and
Yeah.
sound like a fucking pistol.
It's a horse whip, right? A horse
Yeah.
is the original.
And these things were so powerful. You would
I'm
see like
second-guessing
dogs
myself now.
without eyes and ears and shit because they cracked the whip and ended up making contact with them. So this woman was like cracking the whip and being like, if you don't follow the fucking rules, he's Jesus and he's God. He's cracking the whip. And she was cracking the Peter, the guy believed he was God. His sister was like meet the end and was forcing people out in the ice. We'll get to more of that later. But it's the fact that it was so intense and that they really believed this shit all of a sudden. It's like mass hysteria.
Yeah.
Like it seems like they just fucking went crazy. So blending old and new religion, Peter told his fellow islanders that even if he looked the same on the outside, on the inside, he was God. The Inuit believed that in every nature. People were gods, animals were gods, rocks were gods, rains were
Wow,
God.
okay, you were good with people and animals, and then
And
you said
also,
rocks.
you know what?
Look at this rock. This rock's a good rock.
Did you know that?
It's a good fucking rock.
Did you know that even people, indigenous people, believe that poo-poo is God? They believe fecal
Because
matter is
it
God.
came out a year
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, so it's God.
Yeah, it makes
Well, it
sense.
had a soul. That's what their belief is. It had a soul.
That's
and
fucking sideways.
and
That would be your soul, if anything.
yeah, my poo-poo. There's my soul.
Oh, no. Because if you ate vegetables are alive. Plants are alive. So I get that thought
They have
process.
a maze god, man.
I get that thought process. It kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, everything's God, man.
Or if it went through you and it's
No,
technically still alive.
it's vibrational. Like everything is living. That's
Yeah, but
know what I
poo's
mean.
poo's like even after you pick a vegetable, it's dead.
No, it's still living. No, they cry actually. The Baxter effect.
Exactly.
If you pour hot coffee on a thing or on a plant and you gauge its I don't know who they call the Baxter effect if anyone wants to look it up, but they were testing it with some sort of fucking meter, and you could tell if someone tried to light a plant on fire and they poured hot coffee on it, and this Richter, this meter started going out of whack because the plant felt whatever the person was doing.
Exactly. No, I'm just saying when you that's completely irrelevant. I said when you pick a plant, it dies because it loses its roots.
Yeah,
it's no longer living once it's in your cupboard for 3 days.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty damn sure. Unless they have some backup battery.
So, and that a soul, technically in their belief, could transfer into another being. A person might look the same on the outside, but now could have a completely different spirit.
Oh my God.
One of the most evil words in the English dictionary and the English language to them.
Cunt!
Yeah,
just kidding. I can't
was
say that.
missionary.
Damn!
And a missionary had come.
Oh.
But this is all very vague.
On their face.
Not well documented. So one guy showed up with a Bible and then slipped it in their library, be like, "Oh, I see you got a bookshelf. Here's a Bible." He's kind of slid it in there.
He's having his morning cow milk, and he's like,
"You don't have cows over there."
"Oh yeah, no, dude. He pays $40 per cup for that shit." But my God, have you seen? Okay, fuck whatever funny story I was just about to tell. Have you seen the fucking prices of Nunavut groceries?
Insane.
Holy!
Do you look that up often?
Fuck. No, I've actually been in grade 8 they mentioned it to me, and yes,
they have really high prices.
I kind of honestly just about 2 weeks ago I remember looking it up again. Sunny D for a 750 milliliter jug of
a cotton Sunny D.
No, a 750 milliliter jug. How much do you think? Of Sunny D. That cost us about $2.70.
$6.
$43.
No, that's a lie.
No, it's not. Look it up.
That's a lie.
3 bags of milk, because none of it also uses bags. It's only on Eastern Canada, and none of it apparently. 3 bags of milk sitting around $60.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. Look it up.
You shouldn't drink milk anyway. But
think about it though. How much transportation fuel is everybody using, and to make it worth their while to even give it to you, that's what it costs. That's the fucking price of living up there. But again,
how is that fair? They didn't choose to live up in the worst place in Canada.
But again, there are plenty of government jobs that pay you fucked up crazy money if you live up there.
Yeah.
If you want to
live in the worst conditions Canada has. Here's a fucking 90 grand salary a year.
No, 90. What? That's not fucked up money. That's normal money. Jesus.
Where do you come from? Talk to some people right now during COVID.
Anyways, the teachers, I don't know the number right off by heart, but I know it's in the range. If you're an elementary school teacher, none of it's sitting around $600,000 a year. But that $600,000 a year doesn't really translate into much when you're paying $60 for a fucking bag of milk.
I need some goddamn milk.
You're really that $60,000 a year makes it like a $50,000 a year job, and you're about even.
Okay. So, and
anyways, carry on.
When this guy snuck the Bible into their bookshelf for some reason, one of the Inuits was able to read it. Homeboy, okay? Yeah. And he talked
read it.
Yeah, he talked about the content, and it always seemed to be the case to the Inuit that white people, they called them the Inuit.
The don't cow him. Had
firearms and certain goods that made life easier. So they did hear about it and see how white people coming over, because at the time you wouldn't see a black dude up in none of it. Because people would go up there and there was trades going on, so they need fur from seals. And what do people know about seals today is we killed a lot of them.
Why did we kill a lot of them?
Because they're hide.
Why?
And their flubber.
Why?
Because they need it.
For what?
Cooking.
You cook seal flubber?
Yeah, they cook it and
I didn't know that.
what? And then they use their hides for warmth.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have anything else,
that part I did know. I was bugging you at first, but what, the flubber?
yeah, I'm pretty sure they cook it with the fat. So they cook things in the fat.
Oh, it makes sense, but like
All right,
you can kind of cook in water.
So it is possible.
I guess it tastes better when you cook in fat.
They thought if you follow the structures of the Bible, you'll have a rifle and you can kill more seals steadily without a harpoon.
That's a fun fucking fact.
Because I'm pretty sure when somebody went against Peter Sala and Charlie Urek, the Godheads, the people that claim to be God and Jesus, they shot a girl with a harpoon. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I know.
not
So
a
like,
girl.
you don't believe in like they would think anyone.
Like I
is
got a
Satan.
harpoon. I'm fine.
They would think anyone's Satan. So they used to use this like cauldron pot, like this heating thing, and supposedly you could show if somebody was Satan or something like that. And yeah, and they end up like,
If this heats up to literally uncontrollable temperatures,
You're Satan.
Which would be creepy if you walked up to a pot and it instantly became hot. Like I assume you were Satan too.
there is an Anglican church near Little Whale River on the mainland. And my guess is that Peter Sala probably went and heard a few hymns. You are Lord Jesus, he's a
about
good
a few
guy,
hers?
and he likes people to be good.
Thank you, Jesus, for bringing Billy.
And he could speak some English. So that's what that thing is, some English. So he read the Bible and he was like, "So I'm God and you're Jesus now." Okay?
I don't think that's what some English is.
So he understood the words God and Jesus and cross.
That's it.
That's
all he knows. That's not some. That's barely any fucking words.
And the paradox is that he was the most educated of the local Inuits with respect to the outside world.
He walks around. He's like, Tala, come here. I know 3 English words in whatever language he spoke, but just translate
Can
that.
you do it?
Can you do 3 English words? Tala.
You're Satan.
You're Satan. You can die.
And this, they fully participated in the murders. I see what the Anglican missionaries did preach in the gospel as being especially nefarious. The Catholics accepted a lot of Inuit customs, the rituals. Anglicans were aggressive. Christian Anglicans or Catholics, rather, Anglicans.
Yeah, say it 2 more times. Anklets.
Just a year and a half ago, this is him speaking, is Peter Sala.
Yeah.
I can't do a native accent. Just a year and a half ago, a Cree elder and Moose Factory told me this story.
Moose Factory.
That's not your give it accent. You got to be like very monotone. You got to know accent.
No, we're both going Asian
I know.
with it. Why are we both going Asian? Here, let me try.
See the wind, the river.
That was a good one.
It is. No, it's not even
Wind,
good.
river, fire. It's all good and it's all ours.
Okay. He was very late to the residential school one day.
It's like, fuck, I'm late.
Because he had been talking to Ann Kinnick, one of the people who was exiled from the Belcher Islands. She was maybe 15 or 16. And
Why was
she
she
had
exiled?
killed Sarah, the 13-year-old girl who initially had disagreed with Charlie and Peter, saying, "You're not God. You're not Jesus." So this girl came up.
The 13-year-old girl is the only one that's got the balls to tell them to go fuck
when
themselves.
they were preaching this and doing this,
Yeah.
this girl Sarah, which is weird, she has an English name, came up and was like, your body is Peter and your body is Charlie. You're Charlie inside and out. Doesn't matter what you say, you are still Charlie. You're not Jesus. So a little girl perceived this and understood that they weren't Godheads and that had nothing to do with it. And they ended up murdering her. I think she was the one that got shot with a harpoon.
Don't fucking call us out, you motherfucker.
And so they would kill anybody that said that they weren't God or Jesus. Sounds like Charles Manson.
Sounds like a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So Charlie, Charlie was a shaman wannabe, essentially, and that's why he gained the status that he did.
Don't you want to be my shaman?
So when he did look in the sky and he saw the meteor shower, he was the one who made the proclamation. Like Charlie was like, "I'm Jesus," and that Jesus would help them.
Yeah.
And then when Peter came in, it was more like, well, I guess you can be God because I'm Jesus already. So you can be God. You can be like the almighty head.
You're even better than me.
You know what I mean? I don't think this was present in very logical ways.
Both Jesus and God decided to chill it and none of it.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
like, this is our town.
Yeah, this is great. Such as, like, he would say things like, I will help you, and I will walk into the water and start speaking to the seals, and they will come out. And the walruses will heed my fucking words.
Hear my fucking words.
So heed
These
my...
motherfucking walruses will listen to me.
So he believed he was like, and this was his interpretation from reading something that was English.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they were cut off from most of the parts of the world. And there was this Cap who mentally, like, and there was this, it's chap, I'm going to add this. And there was this guy who was mentally unbalanced, technically, and found this to be an excellent opportunity to prove himself. I'm Jesus. Whoever this guy that these white people keep talking about, guess what? I'm him. I'm him to all. He's technically like a cult leader.
What if he was Jesus, though?
That'd be crazy.
It would be crazy.
So, an old woman said, we are all terrified that we would be next. And in that case, you have several ringleaders saying, go get that guy. And you listen to them. So, like, he was spouting all this shit, and then they were listening to him because Peter Solo was a good hunter. And then Charlie was just kind of a side man. Like, Peter Solo was the best hunter in the entire group.
Yeah.
And then you have
Which
Charlie.
makes huge, yeah.
Yeah, and because you need...
The hunter,
you
yeah.
need that, especially at this time era.
I'm not going to live if he's not around right
This
now.
old woman said, so this is what this old woman heard as she was a kid. That white people had 8 legs like a spider, then one would believe it. Like how easy it is for them to believe in these things.
And to believe in something that you've never seen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here they're telling us to do what Charlie and Peter Sala say. So an elder actually, I fucked that up, but an elder actually said that like,
These guys are fucking psychos.
And if they tell you that white people had 8 legs and fucking 7 eyes, that you would believe them. And she was like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
If you don't, your life might be at stake. Because if you weren't with them for preaching this gospel, you're fucking dead. And a lot of people were afraid in the exact same way. And they better follow the rules or whatever Charlie Urach saying.
I'd probably do the same
saying.
thing. Living in that day and age, I'd be like,
fuck.
living in that day and age, you'd go up to it and you'd like, where are you going to run? The authorities?
Yeah, I know.
What are you going to do?
The Mounties going to help you?
You're going to say, oh my God, yes, you're so right. You're going to go home to your wife and be like, that guy's fucking high off his tree. But if you ever see him, you call him Jesus.
You call him Jesus. You better call him Jesus.
Yeah, because he will fucking kill you. So just let's lay low and see what happens.
And this is also true with a number of different religious cults. You listen to David Koresh, and if you don't, even as an adult, you get fucking spanked.
That's very, very humiliating. I couldn't imagine being spanked.
And how
as
David
an
Koresh
adult.
would spank the adults.
Like somebody would actually like
Do I say they
hold
were
me
adults?
over their lap
Yeah.
and spank my ass.
Billy, you've been bad.
Especially in front of people.
I know.
You know what?
And-
A part of me, if it was private, I'd probably like make it go. I'd be like harder. Oh, that's not hard enough. And
No,
just
do
like
it. And then you
keep going. And then he brings up the horse whip and be like, "Oh, fuck, that was too hard."
See, and this is how people get kinks, though, too.
Yeah.
It starts from their kids. And if you're beating a kid on the ass when they're 6 or 7 and they end up getting a boner, guess what? They love spanking for the rest of their life.
Stop banking. Stop doing it.
So like this
done.
attitude spread all across the island of like, these guys are Jesus, but there's also people that are against them. So this whole thing was sweeping on and it ended up like catching wind where people are believing in it and there's people that are not believing in it. it was spreading, and I think that Peter, it was very hard to say because he was certainly the person
Peter's
who
very easy to say.
Peter Sala had the most contact with the outside world. And he would seem to be the last person in Belcher Island who claimed to be God. This is literally like religious fever of like, oh, the white people said that this was correct. And
I believe them. They got to. The white people know everything.
So his sister, Minya. I
guarantee
it's
you.
It's Mina. Mina. Oh yeah, it's Mina. His sister Mina, on the other hand,
The only reason I know that is because my friend's name's Mina.
was quite unbalanced, and one could imagine her doing exactly what she said. So, and she was kind of into. It's funny because when
Mina in wait a minute, Mina and fuck, what's the Inuit name? That's fucked. Mina's
they also have a girl named Sarah that they killed.
No,
so.
but Mina's an Egyptian name.
Do you know that?
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
The only reason I do know that is, like I said, my friend's his last name's Mina, and it's his last name. Yeah, and he's Egyptian.
Doesn't mean.
And he said no. He told me about his heritage, and that Mina's a well-known Egyptian last name.
Interesting. So it was weird because when Peter Sala was kind of being like, oh, maybe I regret claiming that I'm God and then killing this fucking little girl because she went against me and Charlie.
I might have fucked up on that one.
And fuck that.
That was an accident.
This guy's name is Charlie. His name is Eric, which
I think this guy, like you said, he wrote the story about this, right? I bet you he just gave everybody different names. He's like, nobody's gonna know what the fuck that is.
But also, white people did give Inuit people names. Like, you're a
yeah, you're fucking Tom.
You're
now.
Charlie. So it was weird because Peter Sala started like being like, oh, maybe this isn't the right thing, and he had the most contact with the outside world. And they're like, oh, maybe this isn't correct and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And his wife was all on board and it's like, oh, let's fucking murder everybody. Like, if they don't believe in you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay. So she was kind of being delusional. She was kind of being delusional.
Disillusional. I can see straight.
And she ushered all the people out in the ice. Most of them kids and old people were in indigenous culture. They're known as elders. The old people are like worship. Like they went through shit.
This chick just said, fuck this.
And know what they said? They said Jesus would come if you usher them on the ice. And this is where she had that whip and she's like fucking whipping them. I think it was Mina or it was because both.
How many people is this one lady like rounding up at this point? Even with a whip, you think they could turn around? Even if they were kids and elders. Like, with enough of them, they could turn around and just
That's
mouth
why
her.
there was a bunch of, it was like over 100 people in this tribe, I guess you would call it.
Oh, I guess she's probably only whipping off like 5 or 6 at a time.
And then, they started questioning it, and people were questioning what the fuck was happening and why these guys were saying they were gods, and then killing people for saying that they were, against them. So they killed a little girl, and they harpooned somebody. I don't know if it was a little girl or not. And they end up kind of going on and being like, this is you're God. And then there's people that are like, this is a bad idea. Like, what are you guys doing? So
it's a tribe, right? You gotta fucking form a militia.
They were ushering people out on the ice, saying that, like, you don't need the dogs anymore. You don't need, like, anything. You don't need any possessions. Because Jesus will be kayaking down from the sky. Jesus is going to kayak.
Why wouldn't he just, like, float?
Jesus is going to kayak.
It seems like more work if you can already levitate.
There were 6 people who died of exposure.
Which is
because they also know what she did. Yeah. She's like, you won't need any possessions. So
including clothes.
You were right. Yeah. So she made him get naked. And
I don't consider clothes a possession. I really don't. That's one thing that's like, that's a necessity.
So they made children strip and old women and everything and fucking push them on the ice. So then people started revolting. There was people that were trying to usher them towards the shore because they're on a fucking piece of ice.
Yeah, it's like let's get the fuck off. Like,
so
you guys are old.
There were people
kids.
that they're actually rising up and saying like, no.
Heroes. Those are heroes.
So getting back to Peter, is a bit
Peter,
of a
Peter.
is a,
Pizza, Peter.
is a bit of a mystery, but he also first realized, boy, I made a mistake. And by the time there was nothing he could do about it, when he heard his what his sister had done, which is usher all these people on the ice, and then other people of the tribe were like, "Fuck this! Like, I'm getting my kid out of here," and he's freaking out. So he refused to speak to her for quite some time. So he's like, "Bitch, you fucked up. I said I was God, but I don't want anyone dying. I know we killed like 3 people. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they killed 3 people saying that they were like Satan.
That's it.
You're
Stop
Satan.
and now you're killing all of the elders and children like fucking Jesus.
He burst into tears and he blamed himself for the whole thing.
Of course, you fucking should. I hope you feel bad.
I know. Towards the end of his life.
Wait, okay, so who's documenting all this, by the way? Who's like in the corner of the room while he's bursting into tears and he's like
taken from the trial.
And he's fucking
it was technically a trial when they were all
a trial in 1920. Courts were a thing and none of it. Yeah. Sure.
No, because they had to get the Mounties involved.
In 1920.
Yes.
They
had to get the authorities involved because this murders were happening. They murdered 3 people because they said they were Satan. And then Peter's wife starts going insane and pushing people out on the ice and being like...
how about this? So Canada is just over 150 years old. We were founded in 1870.
Yeah. Is that correct?
Yeah. And you're telling me 40 years after the very first person ever stepped foot on Canadian soil, not including Indigenous people, because they were already here. But before that, when we consider Canada a country, it took them, you're telling me, 40 years to develop a court system and start trialing people. I don't believe the courts existed in 1920 in Canada. I don't believe it.
You can look in history. What the fuck are you talking about?
Canada's 150 years old. 1920 is almost 100 years ago. When the fuck did we step foot and then we're like, oh my God, the first thing we need is a courthouse and a library.
So at this time, Toronto was a big city. Like Toronto was the biggest part of like Canada. It was a big city. So you did have court systems because they took it.
1920?
Yeah, because they took it. 1920? That was after World War fucking I. Like, they had court systems. What are you talking about? You don't know anything about history?
But I'm just saying, like, Canada was founded in 1870.
Yeah, but they had to go up there and, like, figure this shit out because one dude came over and saw what was happening, a white dude that was friends with Peter Sala because Peter Sala had connections with, like, the outside world. And then when he, like, kind of panicked kind of thing, and I think somebody that knew him...
It's just odd to me that court systems came so quickly. And
court systems existed for a very long time.
Okay, I understand that. But
the 1600s, no. Salem witch trials.
I understand the trials and the court systems in populated cities. But now you're telling me that a new country was just founded and people were being murdered far away from that country, before vehicles. Yeah. So that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it's because they end up having to...
What did they walk everybody down from Nunavut down to like southern Ontario?
No, they fucking drove them on dog sleds. I don't know how they got them there.
This whole story seems flawed just because of the trial thing.
This is not well documented, but in the documents they do have...
If it was a trial, it would be well documented. It's
more or less that they like, one white dude was like, fuck, what's going on up there? And then they figured out that, like, this guy had fucking religious fever and, like, Bieber fever. I guess I fucking should have grabbed more of the facts on it, but it's more or less that, like... They believed they were gods, and they started pushing people out on the ice, and they already killed 3 people because they believed that they were fucking Satan.
So what year was this? In 1920?
Yeah, when this, 1941 is when this...
Oh, I thought you were saying 1920.
No, I said 1941.
Okay, but that's still... Oh, yeah, that's why I said like 40 or 50 years, or that'd be 60 years after, 70 years after Canada was established. But anyways, you know what's fucked up?
What?
We just took a quick Google break there because I had to look up some things because we needed to check because I was like, fuck that. So Canada was established in 1867. Yes. That was the year Canada became a country. You know what's weird about that?
What?
Canada had court systems before it became a country. That's fucking odd.
Are you dumb? Do you know anything about the English owned Canada?
I understand. No, well, after at 18, that's when English.
When we became Canada,
yeah,
like that. Before that, the British owned us, and we were part of the British fucking crown.
Before we became Canada, we were Indigenous people.
Man, you're dumb. Do you know what? Like, you know
that was Christopher Columbus's fucking discovery.
Okay,
no, I'm saying okay. Like don't. Okay, whether it was Christopher Columbus or the guy just before that,
Canada
I don't care about that argument.
Got established in a certain time because we fucking cut ourselves off from the British Empire. That's how it went. So before that, technically Canada was British fucking crown owned.
So when did Christopher Columbus come over here?
In the fucking 1500s to 1600s.
Oh, was that 15 to 16?
Yes.
Oh,
so Canada was already established.
Okay, so I'm missing like 300 years.
You
there.
motherfuckers got to know your history.
Anyways, though, so the Constitutional Act of 1791.
The states, the Constitutional Act
created the provinces of Upper and Lower Canada. And that
do you
was
not know when the British fought the United States and then we burned down the White House? Do you not know any of that history?
I do know that we burned down the White House.
That was during when the British
I
still
didn't realize
owned
that we had
what
that.
Canada
Yeah,
was.
Right. That's right.
So for a very long time, Canada was owned by the British Crown, which is the Queen, and that's why we still have our own fucking money and all that shit. Is that Canada?
But we broke free, so why do we still have our own money?
Because technically, and I've said this on other podcasts that you've been on, that we are still owned by the crown. That's why when you go to a court system and you're going for fucking, say you fucking broke into an old lady's house and beat her with her cane.
Swear in the Bible.
Swear on the fucking Bible. That when we're still owned by them technically, because when you go to the States, they're like, you're judged by a judge and the jury. We still have, you're judged by the crown. When I was a kid and I was getting arrested, even in youth courts, you had to talk to the crown. The crown is a bunch of motherfuckers that used to wear wigs, and they stand there and like, they judge you upon what you did, and it's the exact same thing as a judge, but there's like 6 of them. And technically, even when they talk about native land that's in Canada and they talk about the crown owns this land, pretty much we can say whatever we want as Canadians, but technically we are still owned by the crown, which is the Church of England. That is fact. And
that's fucked.
I know. We're still owned by England.
How do you break free and not still...
That's why Joe Rogan, I was listening to him and Tom Green talk recently, one of the longest podcasts Joe did in 2020, and they were talking about that, and he's like, you're semi-free, because we're not really. We're still owned by England. Like, that's why we have the
Which
stupid
weird,
bitch on our money. That reptilian cunt. Oh,
anyways,
what?
so that's what baffled me is because of Canada's like happy birthday. We were established in 1871. I assumed... Yeah. My head assumed that was when we took over from the indigenous people. I missed some years there.
No.
That's my bad.
About like 400 years almost.
So it was a couple. I missed a couple years, okay? Jesus.
So and this
that's
is
what was
crazy.
confusing me. That's why I was like, and we established court systems like that.
So
yes.
Charlie and Peter end up like, well, I think Charlie's still on the boat of like, I'm still Jesus, right? Like, and he was
get away with this.
It seemed like that he wants some stature. Charlie wants some stature, where Peter was like, well, if you want to call me God, I guess I'm down for it. I am the best hunter. So when all this came to a head, like towards the end, like, and people that talk about the Belcher Island massacre, like that it couldn't be put to a stop. That when it ramped up and they believed they were Jesus and they believed in this fucking religious bullshit. So like it's just crazy because they believed in that they were part of this and that they were like, and it's just like, well, if we believe in fucking Jesus and God, then we have rifles and guns and we can, because they'll give it to us.
To be fair,
yeah,
I want you to honestly, without discrimination right now, you ready to actually be honest with yourself?
Yep.
Hand to the crown.
And to God.
No,
Queen
hand
Elizabeth,
to the crown.
Yeah.
I want you to picture yourself back in that time frame and how motherfucking gullible you would be to absolutely every piece of information that was brought to you.
and they just shoot everyone, including our people.
So
that
they must be God.
Yeah.
They must be, like that's where your mind would go. To be fair,
Yeah, because this
to
is
be fair, you have to. Yeah. This is before internet. This is before people were knowledgeable.
Before we established the word of cults.
Yeah.
This was technically a cult, and that Charlie and Peter were the head of the cult.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this bitch says that we're not God and we're not Jesus.
Fucking killer.
We're gonna shoot her with a harpoon.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Because all they had was harpoon. Like it.
This is like Jay and Silent Bob back in the day. Yeah. Back in the 20s, Jay and Silent Bob.
Like, we got this, right? Right. We own everything, right? No, the fucking. So it's funny because there were several other Masonic cults at the time, not as dramatic as this one or with a high body count, because technically I think altogether there's like 13 people that got killed.
That's not a whole bunch.
But one
still.
man in, it's funny, what this is called? It's called Repulse Bay. I'm repulsed by that bay.
A repulsed bay.
It's literally called that.
Probably
in
just smells like
Central
fucking
Canadian
shit.
Arctic, this guy said he would baptize everyone
In repulsed bay's
and
water.
he cut off a chunk of his scalp to do so and bled to death. So he's like, you know what? Everyone's got to be baptized. And he's like cutting off his own fucking scalp. Because the white man did this to all of our people. I might as well do it.
Well, what an amazing man. He actually thinks honestly, he thinks he's doing that for the greater good. He's baptizing these people and thinking cutting his own scalp and harming himself will make these people have a good life. That's a good man.
Jesus.
Why? Why are you saying Jesus?
Well, because I love Jesus.
No. I'm saying honestly though, like that guy's self-harming himself thinking that he's giving other people a better life.
Yeah, so
that's a great fucking dude.
So in the Baffin Islands, like the same kind of thing, how people like religious fever was a real thing. That like people like the mass hysteria. Where it's like, well, the white man told me to do this, and they have guns and they have these women that are beautiful, that are white, that they just rape and they take. And it's like, why can't we just take?
Oh my fucking god!
and this,
I want to take.
This homeboy, this cult leader, because at the time cults were established, was named Nitokaken.
I need a toke again.
Threatened to kill.
Is that what you just fucking said?
It's like Niko Toki. It sounds like I see every time I want to do this, I sound Japanese or something. Threatened to kill unbelievers. He himself was shot and killed by one of his own believers.
Oh, wow.
So, like, this happened.
That's a good thing. You pretend to believe so you don't die, and then you fucking kill the goddamn motherfucker.
In Leaf River area in Quebec, another cult believed that the Holy Land was the only Holy Land, and it was a great place to be. One of the local Inuit went off in search of Israel in a kayak. So it's like, yo, I know where Jesus is.
What the fuck did you just say to me? No, you said somebody in Quebec was a holy leader, and then somebody in Nunavut wanted the kayak to Israel.
Inuit people existed in Quebec at this time.
Oh,
for a very long time.
Okay, that makes more sense. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Nunavut again.
So one guy, an Inuit, it doesn't mean just because they're Inuit does not mean they're from fucking.
I just assumed we were okay.
So it's just talking about all these different people that actually follow this code of like where a white man showed me the Bible, and it's like the Bible must be true because they have rifles and they take over everything.
Yeah, they win this guy everything.
Is like, like bye, buddy, in Elf. Where he's like going to lead to find his father.
Buddy.
To find his father.
Yeah,
same thing as like, I'm going to find Jesus in Israel. And he's meanwhile like doing circles in his kayak, like in the exact same place. And so that was crazy. And one of the local Inuits went off in search of Israel in a kayak and had no sense of geography, and then he just disappeared.
Yeah,
so
he's in a kayak.
Died.
He drowned pretty damn quickly.
See,
hashtag Bermuda Triangle.
See, and they end up getting away with it. Like one, I think Peter Sala and Charlie spent about a year in prison. I think Charlie spent a little more time, but because Peter Sala was the best.
What prison in Nunavut?
No, they ended up getting tried in close to Toronto, I think in Sudbury.
Okay.
So
I still want to know how they got here.
they fucking took them on a boat. Who knows? Because they were like, these people are fucking killing each other up there. And Peter Sala, I think, was the one that's like, he went up to this homeboy he knew, this white dude, and was like, I fucked up. And
I wonder how long that would have took. So somebody went up. No, but somebody went up and saw them because there's no internet. Remember, somebody went, no cell phone. Somebody went up, witnessed it, went back, told somebody. They went up, got him, and they brought him back and trialed him.
I think it was Peter Saul that was actually one that.
Yeah, but that time frame must be very fucking long.
Because I looked into this a decent amount, and I tried to watch YouTube videos even today before we recorded just to see if I could brush up. And there's like barely any shit about the story because it is kind of not well known, and. It's just funny because, like, obviously, Peter Sala was the only person that kind of speak English, kind of knew people outside in the outside world, the other world, the white man's world.
Yeah.
And I think he's the one that came up and was like, man, I made a mistake. Like, I thought I was God. You guys force-fed this shit down our throats. And I was like, maybe I'm God. And, well, Charlie said I'm God, and he's Jesus. So maybe that makes sense.
It adds up.
The funny thing is, because they got tried, and the one woman, I think it was Peter's wife, that got tried, and they because she was psycho. She was like going nuts. They had to strap her into a chair, and she was freaking out, but people think it's because she was getting beaten by mosquitoes. She's never seen them mosquitoes before.
How many fucking mosquitoes are biting you to make you lose your mind like that?
So they say,
she's probably a psycho.
If this happened in Sudbury, Ontario, I think where they got tried, for the instance, I think there might be, it would have been a hanging or execution.
I guess you said it was just northeast of Sudbury, Ontario, so it's not horribly far.
Yeah. And so they would have got executed if they were white people.
Probably, yeah.
But because they were indigenous people in a remote area, they were kind of given a certain amount of leniency to do with this.
You don't really know what's happening right now.
And the leniency derives from the fact that they really didn't know that it was
what's
wrong.
Happening right now.
No, they didn't know if it was wrong to kill their people.
Yeah.
And somebody said, I think it was Peter Sola's homeboy, the white guy. I can't remember his name, like Edward, some bullshit probably. But he was like, they didn't know it was wrong because we taught them wrong. We taught them, believe in this Bible, and there's this Jesus, and he'll come back, and he will give you everything you need, and you can get rifles to kill animals. So this whole story is crazy because it all became from religion. Because it's only accounted in certain times and places that there is no like full on like this is A and this is B, like that they don't know exactly how this carried on so far, where they were killing their own people because of their religious beliefs, because of what the white man showed them.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And the Mounties existed at this time were more like FBI agents. To end this, they say, whenever Mounties appeared in remote Canada First Nation communities during or after the First World War, the Mounties said, we white people don't believe that it is right to kill our fellow human beings.
Is that how they announced it? We white people?
Probably.
She dripping?
Yeah.
Probably.
The indigenous people were saying, oh, you don't? I hear that you're killing thousands of them across the sea.
Yeah, and you're right.
Nailed it. Which is crazy because they're literally saying, well, I'm hearing about World War I and World War II, and I heard you guys are killing your own kind constantly.
Yeah, so what the fuck am I doing different?
That
was a good point.
It was an interesting episode.
I wonder what happened about that.
I don't know if I had the correct points with certain timelines, and I apologize for that.
Oh, whatever.
But it is interesting the way it's set up that like they gave them the Bible. Two dudes were like, the one dude that can really interpret English was like, okay, well, I'm Jesus.
That's how that ends. Just nobody rebutted that the fact that white people are killing each other.
Well, I don't know if they're probably like, huh? What? No, that's not true.
You don't know. Go on the computer. Oh, that doesn't exist.
And it's a crazy, weird thing. They're ushered out on the ice. People died of exposure because they're like, Jesus is going to come on a kayak. And they killed, I'm pretty sure, because for some reason I didn't have that in the notes I had, is that they killed 3 people that claimed, they claimed to be Satan. And we're like, oh, you're Satan, and they fucking ushered them out, like, and they killed him. I know one person was killed by a harpoon, and then I think they killed 2 other people claiming that they were Satan. And then when Peter Saul's wife kind of went insane, she started ushering people on the ice, be like,
so anyways, like a 13 total death toll.
Yeah, technically, which is fucking crazy, man, for religious fanaticism.
A fanaticism?
I think that's a word.
It doesn't sound like a word.
Fanaticism? Maybe it's not. Who knows? I've had too much gin.
Fanaticism.
You ready?
I guess because it's time for Billy's Fun Fact of the Day.
It's a Billy's Fun Fact of the Day. You want to go get cold and kill some people? Let's do it. I am Jesus. My name is Charlie.
Okay. Here's a trivia one.
Okay. I wish we had
Anyways, yeah, I knew you didn't, so I had to do it myself. We talked about ladybugs and how they're fucked up cannibals.
Yes, yeah.
Remember that one? Talk about fucking butterflies. Here's a trivia. It's A, B, C, or D.
Okay.
Butterflies either love getting drunk, they love eating poop, they love cannibalism, or they're absolute fucking death machines.
Let the listeners think about it.
What do you think? What do you think butterflies do?
I fucking feel like I should know this. I think they eat poop. They eat poopy?
They fucking do all of that.
What?
A, B, C, and D. They're fucking monsters. You know what butterflies do? These cute little motherfuckers. Their favorite activities include getting drunk on fermented log sap.
Log sap.
They have drunken fights.
Yeah.
They love eating poop or dead animals. They will just feast on it. Like, if you find a fucking dead coyote on the side of the road, and like butterflies will be like, I'm gonna get so
Why
fucking
don't we
full
see
right
that
now.
though?
Because it's just a butterfly, man. Think of how small they are. They don't come in masses.
Well, we see flies eating a corpse.
Yeah, because there's a million of them. You don't see one. You don't see one fly eating a corpse. But
That'd be funny.
But it'll be one butterfly
Like one
eating
guy,
a
like
corpse.
his name's Bobby. He's like, I love
And
this.
they love eating their siblings as caterpillars. So when their own brothers and sisters are becoming their own butterflies, they're like, nope, this is tasty. I'm going to eat
A
you
lot of
right now.
animals do that, and I think we should.
No,
venture
but
down
and
into
they
that.
get drunk. That was the part I like. They get drunk. Butterflies are fucking loaded all of the time.
Yep.
I don't know how they found that out, but that's a cool fucking fact. I liked it.
So get ready for Christmas. We got a fun episodes coming
Tom
up.
didn't like it, clearly.
It was weird, but they're the fucking evil piece of shit. But they're beautiful, and they're part of the Montauk Project.
And they love...
Not Montauk. I mean the MK Ultra.
Yeah, probably. Because they're fucking monsters.
So rate and review us if you enjoy our show. The more you guys help
you're
out.
growing. I'm so proud of you.
I know. The more you guys help out and the more you guys show that you enjoy our show. We've been seeing some of the reviews and stuff. We enjoy it. Like,
I love the reviews.
yeah, if you guys, enjoy the show.
If anybody wants to just talk shit about Tom on the reviews and say how awesome Billy is on the reviews, I'd like that a lot. And I'll heart it. And I'll be like, that was a good review.
All right. So you can follow us. You know where to find us, www.strangebrewpodcast.com. We're literally on every podcast app you can find.
Have you guys bought merch yet?
Yeah, there's merch out there. It's on the website. Strange Brews hose heads popping.
You need your face mask everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And we got a
two face
strange
masks.
motherfucking brew face mask.
I have two of
Super
them.
breathable.
Yeah.
Super awesome.
Makes my mustache a little itchy, but I like it.
I know all the face masks do. I had to
know.
shave everything. I was
You
going.
don't have anything
No,
to shave.
I did. I was
I would
going.
love you to
You
do
missed it
stash.
when I was pooping there. I had shit
Okay.
going. It was
You
gross.
want to tell your story about why you were pooping?
Oh my god! Fucking McDonald's gave
He had
me
food
goddamn
poisoning.
food poisoning. It was fucking McDonald's, man. People, stop going there. Just stop eating it.
I love
They're
a Big
horrible. And you
Mac,
know what's
so-
funny too about it? Okay, the only reason I know it was McDonald's, and by the way, this is a horrible experience. I've never had food poisoning before. Shedding for literally 2 days. Like literally, couldn't go to work, couldn't leave the fucking bathroom. I think there was a 6-hour span there at one point where I didn't even step out of the washroom. But it was the only thing I've eaten in the past couple of days that my girlfriend did not. And even while I was eating it, the first couple bites were like, this tastes oddly fresh. That's what I remember. I was like, this is way too fresh to be McDonald's. And I don't know why it tasted like that, but the motherfucker gave me food poisoning.
And your significant other is also a vegetarian, and she'll eat fish, right?
Yeah.
And eggs and all that shit. But what does she get from McDonald's? The fish
No,
sandwich?
she didn't. That was the only...
I'm just saying, does she eat from McDonald's? Does she eat the fish sandwich?
I usually get her like pancakes or fries or something.
That's not protein.
Yeah, no, nothing she eats is protein. That's why I literally buy her protein bars because she doesn't fucking supplement her lack of protein.
Eat some quinoa.
Yeah, how much quinoa do you got to eat?
Lots.
So much. Yeah, so much. And she barely eats.
So you know where to
See how
find us.
tiny she is?
Go on Strange Brews Host Heads, all you
hot.
motherfuckers hose heads. Like we got
It's
shit
been a fun time. I love
You know what I
you.
mean? We love all the fans. We love all the
I
listeners.
feel like we're rambling.
But let's just end it. You know, we got a lot of stuff, fun stuff coming up. Like there's a lot of shit coming up for
It's
us.
there. Don't spoil it. Bye.
We have
Love
a lot of
you.
serial killers
Carry
coming
on.
up. It's gonna be fun.
And there was a spoiler.
I like the fact that you talk incessantly. I got a thing for assholes who tell a good story. I'm still here because I got nothing else to do. You're an asshole, but I'm getting used to it. I like the fact that you talk incessantly. I got a thing for assholes who tell a good story.
I'm obnoxious, that's why I've got this fine ass hot bitch. Mindless, thoughtless, down to make my cock stiff. She's lying awake, her only thought is my hot dick, and does God exist? You're a bra bitch when you're not the smartest, and the bar is home to you on the weekend. You jump naked in the deep end, enough sleeping awake to my semen on your lips and a bong hit. I at least start screaming, make you believe that God exists. My long dick slapped hard on your clit. I'll fuck you in your backyard in bondage. Dirty as I get, you're disgusting, fucking hungry bitch that works for dick. Your curvy hips lure me in. First we kiss, then we do it again. I'll duel your friends if you make me look like a fool again. I got no time for a hoe looking for a gold mine, hooking the whole time, not looking for no sign for help. Well, bitch, go die in hell. You'll find yourself under Leviathan spell. Spread your thighs when I tell you to. You fell for the voodoo. You smell like poo-poo. Who knew you got yourself in this? You're not celibate. You got caught in my thoughts and fell for it. Manipulation, how I got my fingers in your anus as my dick's evading. You're not the regions. I'll leave you forever screaming. Pleasure and heavy breathing. Dress her from her evening gown. I'm God, bitch, don't you see the crown? You're hostage to my penis now. You're hostage. What an asshole. You're such an asshole. Trust this asshole. Fucking asshole. What an asshole. You're such an asshole. You trust this asshole. Fucking asshole. What an asshole. You're such an asshole. Trust this asshole. Fucking asshole. Close your eyes and open your mouth. I got loads of surprises you don't know about. Dress your clothes to show off your nice tits as you stroll down the street. I know you're proud to be with me. You straddle me, whiskey in the shot glass. I'll get frisky, grabbing your hot ass. You get turned on, listen to me rapping. There's lots of trash, playing too much. My cock's in your ass, and I'm just saying what I want. No repercussions, and all those hoes that are semen sucking, fucking sluts. When a guy sees them, they start thrusting. I'm dark and disgusting. My art is something to die for. You'll be my whore, that's why I store so much semen. So I fuck you and leave you creaming, leave you panting late in the evening. What an asshole, you're such an asshole. Trust this asshole, fucking asshole. What an asshole, you're such an asshole. Trust this asshole, fucking asshole. What an asshole, you're such an asshole. Trust this asshole, fucking asshole.
I'm still here because I got nothing else to do. You're an asshole, but I'm getting used to you. I like the fact that you talk incessantly. I got a thing for assholes who tell a good story. I'm still here because I got incessantly. I got a thing for assholes who tell good stories.